Shifting our focus to Turkiye, which is reeling under widespread demonstrations. If you may wonder, why is that? Because of the arrest of Istanbul Mayor Ekrem Imamoglu, who happens to be Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan's biggest, fiercest political rival. Since the arrest, the police have detained more than 1,100 people, which also include journalists. And as we speak, Turkey may be witnessing the worst unrest in more than a decade. Our next report telling you more.
These are some of the rallying cries that were heard against the arrest of Istanbul Mayor Ekrem Imamoglu. His wife also joined the chorus and addressed vast crowds of protesters, warning the authorities of the consequences of their actions. In Turkey, tens of thousands of people took to the streets for the fifth night in a row after a Turkish court jailed Istanbul Mayor Ekrem Imamoglu on corruption charges. The demonstrations, which began in Istanbul last week following the mayor's arrest, have since spread to more than 55 of Turkey's 81 provinces. In the Turkish capital, riot police appeared to push anti-government protesters down a main road with water cannons. The recent protests mark the largest wave of street demonstrations in Turkey in over a decade. Meanwhile, this leader of the main opposition Republican People's Party, or CHP, called on the crowd to boycott pro-government companies, adding that the hurried jailing of the mayor is an attempt at a coup.
By keeping him in prison for 4 days, sending him to court while Turkey was going to the polls for him, and sending him to Silivri prison while Turkey was electing him, he defied not only him, but millions and attempted to stage a coup.
Responding to the accusations, government officials have rejected all claims as they insist that they function independently from Turkey's judiciary. The protests are significant as they deepen concern over the rule of law in Turkey. Moreover, the imprisonment of the Istanbul mayor is being viewed as a political move to remove a top contender from the next presidential race, which is scheduled for 2028. Just this Sunday, Imamoglu attracted almost 15 million votes and became the main opposition CHP's candidate for the upcoming presidential run. This also comes as European leaders criticized the actions against Imamoglu to be undemocratic and politically motivated. And now, the unfolding of the courtroom developments seems to have united the opposition against the Erdogan government, which has run Turkey for 22 long years.
He says there is a rival before me. He also sees this rival's rise. He also won the elections in both terms. Because he sees that, he doesn't want him to be my rival. This is my opinion. What can we do? We will pray. May God help us. May God make our ending good. That's all.
In the recent years, many critics have found themselves behind bars after challenging Erdogan. But the arrest of a high-profile figure as the Istanbul mayor. But the latest developments are unprecedented. What happens next? The coming days shall reveal. Bureau Report, WION World is One.
Well, in today's fast-paced world, technology is all around us. We wake up to smart alarms, interact with virtual assistants, and spend hours scrolling through social media. But have you ever wondered, as we get more connected to our devices, we might be becoming more disconnected from each other? It has been over 2 years since OpenAI released ChatGPT. Since then, it has taken the world by storm, attracting 400 million weekly active users worldwide. But could AI, the very tool that promises to make our lives easier, contributing something deeper, perhaps loneliness? We're not saying it. According to a new research conducted by OpenAI and MIT, those who spent more time speaking with ChatGPT reported higher levels of emotional dependence on the app. In short, higher usage of chatbots like ChatGPT may correspond with increased loneliness and less time spent socializing with other people. Now, to conduct the studies, researchers followed nearly 1,000 people for a month to examine how participants interacted with ChatGPT for a minimum of 5 minutes each day. At the end of the experiment, the participants had to fill out a questionnaire to measure their perception of the chatbot, which includes various issues, for example, feeling of loneliness, level of social engagement, and their dependence on the bot. The researchers found that participants who trusted and bonded with ChatGPT were more likelier to be lonely than others. Researchers also observed a catch-22 situation, where ChatGPT's voice mode made users less lonely. But participants who were already lonely at the start of the study were more likely to overuse the tool and ultimately worsen their situation. The latest study gives us greater insights into ChatGPT's impact on us and how humans engage with this technology on an emotional level. While there are growing concerns with the way AI is being used, experts say that the answer is not to abandon AI altogether. Instead, it is about finding the right balance. There are no two ways about the fact that technology enhances and makes our life much easier. However, it should never replace the irreplaceable value of human connection. Shifting our focus to West Asia, where Israel's relentless bombardment of Gaza has claimed the lives of at least 61 Palestinians. That's the death toll in Gaza in just the last 24 hours. 61 people were killed in one day, and 134 others were wounded over the last day in Gaza. Israel has renewed its assault on Gaza a day after moving one of its divisions to south of Gaza. We're talking about the 36th Armored Brigade. Israeli forces bombed Gaza's Nasser hospital, killing at least 5 people, including Hamas leader Ismail Baroum. That's what Israel has claimed. The Israeli airstrike hit Nasser hospital in the southern city of Khan Yunis on Sunday. Footage shared by news agency Reuters showed flames burning the exterior sign on the hospital's facade, while clouds of smoke billowed from the building. The Gaza Health Ministry, which is run by Hamas, said that the Israeli strike hit hospital's surgery department, while the IDF said its attack followed extensive intelligence and used precise munitions to minimize harm at the site.
The strike today on Nasser Medical Complex and getting the surgery unit out of service is a message from the Israeli occupation to get Nasser Medical Complex out of service. I can say that the Nasser Medical Complex is one of the hospitals, or the biggest hospital currently in operation in the Gaza Strip. The Nasser Medical Complex resumed operations in May last year after it was out of service.
Gaza Civil Defense Agency said that it has lost contact with 6 of its members who had been sent on a rescue mission in the southern city of Rafah. Doha-based news channel Al Jazeera reported that on Sunday, Gaza Civil Defense Agency had sent its first responders and others from the Palestine Red Cross Society to Rafah after receiving calls that Israeli troops had entered the area of Al-Hashashin, and there were casualties. Since then, there's reportedly been no word from the rescuers. According to reports, thousands of Palestinians remain trapped in Rafah. This after Israeli forces reportedly encircled a district on Sunday. Israel had ordered the evacuation of the Tal al-Sultan neighborhood, telling people to leave by foot on a single route to Al-Mawasi, which is the cluster of tent camps along the Gazan coast. But even though thousands reportedly fled, residents said that many were trapped by Israeli soldiers. According to Hamas-run Gaza Health Ministry, around 730 Palestinians have been killed since Israel resumed attacks on Gaza. 1,300 others have been wounded. That's since Israel broke the ceasefire and restarted and renewed the war in Gaza. Last Tuesday, remember, on March 18th, the Israeli army launched a surprise air campaign on Gaza with hundreds of strikes, and now it is moving its ground troops into the northern and southern parts of the war-battered territory. But ask Israel, and the Netanyahu government says that Israel is fighting the war of the free world. These are the words from Israel. The Times of Israel cited Israeli Foreign Minister addressing a news conference in West Jerusalem alongside his EU counterpart, saying that it's only natural for Israel to expect European support. I'm quoting as to what he exactly said. We are now fighting the war of the free world. Iran, Houthis, Hamas and Hezbollah attack us because we are nearby. But make no mistake, the war is against Western civilization, against its values and its ways of life, unquote. Over the weekend, the number of people killed in Gaza in the Israel-Hamas war reached a new milestone. And that is, more than 50,000 people have now died in the war in Gaza. With so many dead, and with Israel shattering the ceasefire agreement, many have started questioning the true intentions of Bibi, of the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Has Netanyahu restarted Israel's bombing campaign in Gaza because of Hamas refusing to free the remaining hostages? Or is it due to issues he is facing at home? We now shift our attention to the United Arab Emirates, where the skies above displayed a rare astronomical event. Astronomers at the Al-Khatim Observatory captured Venus as a glowing crescent, that too in broad daylight. At precisely 9:18 a.m. local time, Venus positioned itself between Earth and the Sun, resulting in a breathtaking crescent of Venus, very similar to the Moon's phases. The observatory's astronomers with an advanced telescope managed to capture this fleeting moment. Venus, often dubbed as Earth's twin, showcases phases like the Moon as it orbits the Sun. However, witnessing these phases during daylight is considered exceptionally rare.